Namaste, everyone. This is the third masterclass in the series of weight gain program. So let's have a quick recap on what we did in last two masterclasses. I hope you watched them. The first one was to tell you the root cause of your weight gain is in loneliness, and you gain weight to feel stable with your loneliness. That means you're hiding your loneliness. And you can understand it the way, make it more simple for you, is that you imagine there are two containers where there is a pipeline supplying the water. If you cut the pipeline, then the water begins to accumulate inside. That's what loneliness does. You disconnect with the world outside because of some event causing you hopelessness. You feel lonely, unloved, and that is akin to dying. So, in order to feel stable, you begin to put on weight. And we said this is the reason why any weight loss program has a conflict with your internal need to feel stable. And that's why weight loss programs often fail. And the places where it succeeds is the places where people are willing to let the loneliness go and they have a vision for future. That means they have hope. So that is the internal mechanism for weight loss program to be successful. The second time we talked about, second masterclass, we talked about it's not what you eat, it's how you eat that gives most nutrients to your body and keeps you healthy. And then we found out in last masterclass that digestive system and then cellular metabolism are two uh, mechanisms inside the body which is providing us nutrients, energy in each cell, and also repairing. Repairing, we call it regenerative process. And there, these two processes are function of your breath for digestive system and sleep for regeneration. Today we are going to talk about the third part. Most complex, most taken for granted is the third part, cooking. And we will attempt to uh, decode that given that what you eat, how you eat, the third parameter which is important is how it is being cooked. To be able to explain to you, and we did run the campaign that cooking is a means of communication. It's a little sensitive for me to drive the point to you. I'd love to take you a little away from food and try to explain, then I come back to what we do in food. It is the breath, then the sleep, which is involuntary processes given to us by nature. But the third process is food, which keeps us alive, which converts all the nutrients into energy, which goes to every cell through the blood. So when we talk about energy, what happens is that anything and everything is interconnected in this world. That's why I said it is a little sensitive, and I want you to a little bit open up yourself to something which you probably have discarded, although you have experienced it. So I'll tell you a story. As a student, I met a senior, long time back I'm talking about, who was practicing uh, not to meet anybody over the weekend, not to come out of the bed. When I asked him, he said he is conserving his energy because every eye contact is exchange of energy. Now, wait, there's no touch, there's no matter involved. Even there, eye contact or even looking at anything is dissipation of energy. It can be dissipation of energy, and you can also gain energy depending upon what you're looking at. For example, if you're in nature, looking at nature, mountains, the sea beach, it'll feed you energy. So it is this sensitivity which we are talking about. A little touch is a physical touch. It transmits. Let's not talk about dissipation. Let's not talk about gaining the energy. Let's talk about exchange of energy. So this experiment you can do at home for X hours or minutes. Sit alone. You don't need to meditate. You're not necessarily looking at anything. And you will see the energy you feel in your eyes. Your eyes will feel heavy, energized, and your third chakra, which is pineal gland here, will begin to activate. So that's why you can become sensitive to this conversation I'm going to have with you today about food. The touch brings transmission of energy at a much higher intensity than any other four senses would do to you, other than, of course, we'll come to food, which is material. So when you become sensitive to it, you would be able to understand what I'm going to talk about cooking and why mother's cooking has a significance more than just giving you need to survive. Surviving with food can be given to you by any junk food or even Swiggy. But there's something special about mother's food to you. And if you have father who cooks for you, then there's a different frequency which comes, but it is the parents' energy. And then I'll come to siblings and wife and daughter and everyone. What is the interest a mother has in you? Having given you birth, she only prays for one thing, not for just your living, but to fulfill the purpose for which you are born. Therefore, in the process of cooking, and I will compare this process of cooking with the process of meditation, then you will understand it better. And I will switch after saying this to meditation and then to lovemaking. In the process of cooking, there's a lot which has gone in her space to create a specific frequency, which intuitively she knows what you need to eat in terms of feeling the frequency. The food, first of all, is supposed to fill up your stomach. Great. Two, it should be tasty. C, you should feel satisfaction. Fourth, if it is much better, contentment. And fifth, rare, but it happens, that it takes you to the state of bliss. I'm sure each one of you have experienced that with your mother. I know there are some exceptions too, but in a healthy situation, ancient time, especially if you're my age, old time women rather, not old women, which spend not time. Suppose it got disconnected. Okay, it's here. Oh, it was screensaver, I think. It's fine. Not the whole time. Sorry about the interruption. The screensaver came in and thought it is gone. It's not about the function of time, but when you are dedicated to bring up the family, the space you operate from is nurturing the family. So the interest is not really that you would, I just need to feed you and you will be surviving. Interest is that how do I communicate to you, invoke you that you are here for a purpose which in the womb, unknowingly or knowingly, she has passed on to you. That is why you would find the taste of your mother's recipe, mother's food is very unique. And each one of us say, my mother is the best cook because it is personalized. It is intimate. It is only specifically given to you. And if you are a family of 5, 6 people, you will find that your husband would have a different taste and a reaction to the food, while you would have a different reaction and taste for the food. Same food cooked by her. She included him too. She included you and your sibling too. But you would find that the frequency at which it is received, everyone got hunger satisfied, everyone got satisfied, everyone got probably contentment too. But they feel something is missing. One person feels something is missing, another person feels something is good. So using spices, the cooking recipes or processes, they communicate to you. And I will tell you, you have missed out. You have missed out. But at whatever age you are, because food is a memory, you always crave for what you have already experienced as a contentment in your childhood. You should be able to now decode your childhood memories when we go into, at the end, food meditation. So there is a purpose behind cooking which a mother does. So we said the women, the wife, should not cook the same recipe which her mother-in-law cooks for her husband. The reason being is that she has a different purpose of seeing him flourish. You have a different purpose. You need to blossom the seed which is given to you. So you create your own recipes, your own chemistry which defines your own inner communication to him should go through food. You try to do the same replica of what mother-in-law wants, then the husband is actually more inclined, more getting grounded to the mother than to the relationship with you. At the cost of he not getting the taste of his mother's food because it's time for him to grow, you create your own taste which opens up his spirit in a new dimension, and that's how you grow a man out of a boy. रेडीमेड नहीं मिलते हैं आजकल. You need to do this, and this is what our women used to do earlier, not even long ago, even few decades back, in a pre-internet era. This was a creative process. This is a creative process. So to better understand that there's a communication happening, I'll take you to meditation. Then I'll take you to lovemaking. Then I'll tell you what is the correlation between the three of them. When you talk about meditation, you talk about in Hindi Yog Nidra. That means state of yoga. What is yoga? When you say, I am doing meditation, I am attaining a state of yoga, what are you saying? Before you say this, you need to ask, what is separating you from you that you need yoga? The process of meditation or yoga is that in this process, if you notice, when you follow the process which we teach, because our state of meditation is state of cure, various methods which you use are not the genuine state of meditation, process of meditation, because they only give you some relief. While the meditation which we teach in the book, Meditation the Cure, it eradicates your suffering. So I will follow that, and I'll follow part 2 of Saanjh web series to explain you this concept. So what is happening is that state of yoga means state of bliss, but you arrive at this highest frequency through iterative process as you observe your breath. As you observe your breath, your thoughts begin to diminish, your emotions dissolve, which in essence, your pravrti begins to dissolve. What is pravrti? Tendency. What is tendency? Karma, krodh, nirasha, nervousness, anxiety. Is coming due to lack of faith and lack of trust in life. In the state of yoga, because these are separating you from your inner self, these pravrti make you suffer and separate you from your inner self, which knows life is given to you. So when you meditate, your sanskar begins to get enhanced and your pravrti tendency dissolves. Only when these lower frequencies dissolve, you automatically attain the state of bliss, which is your own state of being in the inner self. Here you're doing internally. In when you talk about meditation, you are doing internal process. You're not engaging with anyone. But when you talk about love making, this is far more intense process. It has touch, it has emotion, it has exchange. You're doing the same process there through the. So we call it love making because you need to have love for each other. And in that process, the conversation, the feeling which you have begin to dissolve various tendencies you have. Therefore, what you pass on to each other in the process of love making is only the sanskar. Therefore, anything casual about it is very dangerous because you pass on each other's tendencies to each other. Anything casual about food, like McDonald's or Swiggy, they have no interest in keeping you alive. They only have interest in feeding you and making their money. Likewise, in meditation, there is nothing casual about it. These three processes are processes of communication and exchange of energy. You cannot afford to be casual about it. And you can decode in all these three cases, you can decode whether what was the what was what was it happening actually to you, what was given to you, for example. So after love making, you can experience whatever emotions you feel are passed on to you. After eating food, you can experience that with what intent this food was given to you if it is from a family member. So the food made by your mother, sisters, wife, daughter, and the food made by people, men and women, whosoever, who wants to serve you, have an intent to, to help you with the purpose for which you are born, to help you survive and live long. Therefore, you would see a lot of people, they don't eat food anywhere, cooked by anybody, because they know they would be catching the frequency of that person. through food. And there's a lot more to it, actually. I can go into details because I did experience that. It's not just about love that the women communicate through food. And when I teach you food meditation, you will be able to decode anything they desire to communicate. For example, if they are feeling lonely, unattended, or they need something, when you are given food, you can actually decode what they want. That's how, in old time, when you live in a joint family, you don't have so much personal time. Also, that was not the paradigm where we said, honey, let's sit down and talk. We need to have the conversation. We never had that kind of a Western culture. We come from a culture where we were understood, or we tried understanding each other, being sensitive towards each other. Therefore, every gesture, food, of course, was a means of communication to each other. That's how the relationships were. Food especially becomes very significant and powerful tool of communication because it is material and it is going inside your body even if you don't understand what is being communicated. It does reveal to you in digestion what it was meant to be as a communication. So you can see suddenly your food is a little more spicy today, and you can figure out there's an anger. You find the food is today made specially, making you feel lose your entire burnout and you feel fresh after eating the food. That means the woman already knew that you are working very hard today, you're burnt out. She must have added something in the spices, more than that, in her intent to calm you down. So, this is how various frequencies of emotions women communicated through food. It never happens that the food is given to you where the person who has cooked for you has nothing to say to you. So if you say your mother is the best cook, if I say my mother is the best cook, we both are right. It is personalized for both of us. Now, how to decode what is being communicated through food to you. That's called food meditation. We did that in a couple of workshops. So I'll teach you, and rest in detail you can learn from by registering on the website. There's a freeware available, Swar, and we have this entire process of meditation is explained in, I think, 20-24 minutes of video called Cure is Within You. In detail, you can learn from there. I'll give you the technique. You want to practice for a minute, you can do that. I mean, you can hold on. But I need to hear from you if you really want to practice now or you want to practice later on. When the food is served to you, there are 2-3 ways to do that. One, when you are hungry, delay eating food by, let's say, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. Endure the hunger. When you endure the hunger, there is the food meditation I'm talking about. Begin to observe your breath, the way it is happening. Change nothing in it. It's going in, it's going out. Change nothing. This is the base of all our programs. This is a base of all cure, which we teach in various forms, web series, book. lectures, or one to one. So I'm giving you the real basic there. You observe your breath few minutes before you're going to eat food. You delay it by a minute or two. You will know what you are really missing. It's not just the food you are missing. You're missing food of someone. Then sit in front of the food, don't eat for a minute or two. Observe your breath with the aroma of it. And while eating, as we taught you last time how to eat, you eat in silence. While eating, you will know the person who has cooked for you, what is the intent for of that person in giving this food to you. Try this out. You do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You'll get a hang of it. You may not succeed first time, second time, third time. But you do that, you will know it. And you will find that, this is my observation out of 14 years dealing with several thousand people. 9 out of 10 cases, we are very angry with our mother. We miss her food. And when we sit there, we keep finding fault, keep cribbing, overeat, or eat it halfway through because we have not yet dissolved our anger towards our mother. So try this out. More on it, there can be multiple questions you can ask, but the basics and the fundamentals I've given you here, summarized you all 3 master classes. The other thing I can say from my experience, because I love to cook, and I love to cook the day I have a burnout. Why should you cook when you are burnt out? Because when you are burnt out, you have used your logical mind, surviving mind, which is your left brain or right brain. Cooking is a creative process which is making you survive. So when you begin to cook, it takes away the burnout of the day and you're fresh to actually work again if you want to work or relax. So it balances out the electromagnetic field of the body. Also, when you cook for yourself, it takes away your dependency for food on others. You are less likely to be subjected to manipulation, control, because your survival is in someone's hand. Therefore, that person can decide to manipulate the relationship or control the relationship because it automatically triggers insecurity when you are hungry. So when I told you do delay food by 5, 7 minutes, this is what I wanted to trigger in you, that you discover how when food is denied by being delayed, what emotions, what beliefs you carry about yourself, about your relationship with food, and you will be astonished. An enormous amount of fear and anger is stored in you around food. So that's all for this class. But if you have some questions, maybe we can elaborate. You can type in your questions. I will get it on my mobile. I'm just checking my mobile. So we have 2 questions. Number one, does intake appetite changes with deeper meditation? 100%, rather 200%. There are many ways to explain that actually. Let me see the simple way to tell you. Last time I told you that we often say मन नहीं है खाने का भी, या मूड नहीं है, या मेरा मूड ये खाने का नहीं है, अब ये खाने का है. We change our mood a lot, and all of you know when you go to a restaurant how much time you take to decide when you have too many choices, or even when you're ordering from Zomato, Swiggy. You take a lot of time because you have too many options. You're trying to fine tune what is your frequency for this moment, what you want to uh, satisfy with the food. These are result of the stress we have. When you meditate, your senses begin to harmonize. Therefore, it also influences not just the appetite, but also the need for variety and newness, which you seek all the time in food. It diminishes. We have seen a yogi. He eats the same meal in all three meals in a day, throughout the year, year after year, because he has harmonized his senses through meditation, and his man is not looking for satisfaction through varieties of food. So that's why the meditation which I give you, and also in the weight loss program, when you begin to meditate in our root cause program, what happens is that recently there was a tweet that it's so easy to control yourself for an hour, go to the gym and eat the diet. But what do you do for 23 hours with your craving? So those craving which you have in your food weight loss program, which you're trying to control and then you give up, with the meditation where we are talking about we eradicate the root cause of the weight gain, for the which sample I give you, you learn and you remain in the program for that long that we harmonize your senses and you are in control of the senses rather than senses trying to control. So yes, the answer to the question, does meditation uh, changes appetite or the variety? Yes, it does. Second question is, what about when you are the person who has cooked the food? What is the intent when you eat food you cooked yourself? Multiple scenario, but from my experience, I can tell you. Sometimes you cook because you need to cook because you're hungry. Sometimes you're very lonely about the idea that you have to cook for yourself. You don't like the idea someday. So you're bored with this idea. But more often than not, when I'm cooking for myself, when I'm alone, of course, I don't prefer ordering out. I cook for myself. But my process to cook for myself starts with Saanjh. I begin to look forward to cooking a specific recipe for myself. It's simple dal chawal. It's simple sauteed vegetables and rice. Nothing fancy. But the way I create, or the way actually it comes out, a very different frequency of the food astonishes me. So yeah, it depends. I mean, it has become fashion that, oh, I have to cook for myself. And I said, if you really want to be liberated in your life, if you really want to be successful in your life, then there's only one thing which you need to learn: cook your own meal. Then you're not dependent on anyone. Till then, all the talks you talk about meditation, liberation, moksha, or all these talks just modern people talk, modern women talk about freedom, my choice. Yeah, it's meaningless. Start with the basic. At the base, for whatever need, as long as you are dependent on someone else, be it love, sex, food, money. So you say, I am earning money, I'm independent. No, you're not independent. Your other needs are still dependent on person. That's where you land up being a slave more than being free. So you work towards your freedom means you work at your basic needs, which you believe are the need of survival, which essentially boils down to, after money, uh, your ability to cook for yourself, calibrating your need for sex, calibrating your need for love, rather than this becoming a greed and forcing you to make compromises in your life. So it depends. With what intent you cook for yourself, it shows up that way in your body, in your emotions. So the third question is, sometimes when I cook, I don't feel like eating what I cooked right now. I lose my appetite. Maybe earlier cooking is fine. What could cause that? My my family eats that same food and likes it. Well, it happens with me more often than not. I'm fortunate I have uh, grown up children who have good appetite. One of them is a sportsman. So he sits down next to me when I'm eating last because he knows I will not finish what I've taken. And he, as a sportsman, can eat more. And my daughter too. So why do we lose appetite when we are cooking? My entire intent when I'm cooking for children and for my wife is about giving them the vision with the food. So mother says, remain, mother gives you love and mother gives you continue to pursue the purpose. तो मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा कि माँ बोलेगी जिंदा रह, खुश रह. बाप जब खाना बनाएगा तो बोलेगा जिंदा रह और ऐश कर, पर्पस तो हो ही जाएगा. So that's what goes in the cooking of a mother. That's what goes in the cooking of a father. It's different. So since your intent is to feed and to pass on, and the process, I mean, anybody who enjoys cooking for children or family would know what I'm talking about, that the process starts much before you actually go into the kitchen. I calibrate ingredients, masalas, the timing, everything is running in the background for 5 6 hours. And yet at the last minute, I may improvise. That's the whole process which I love. And in the process, I get so much contentment that my need for food, the basic which is there, I'm left with that and I only eat that much food. So it's normal that you feel loss of appetite while cooking. More you are involved in serving, you will find that less is the need to survive. I very well reflected through this question. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions, I think one more is coming. So there's no more questions. We can close it here. Here are the steps for food meditation. I'll give you two ways to do that. One, when you delay food, by delaying food by 5-7 minutes, you observe your breath, you feel your hunger. You will find the emotions hidden inside you, which are connected with food. That's one meditation you can do. The second one is when the food is served to you, you observe your breath and you delay it by a minute or two while observing your breath. You will know what is there in the food and you will know what you're missing in name of food. And the third is when you eat in silence, whatever is communicated to you, if not while eating, later on you will begin to gain insight. What does she want to say to you? So try it out. Tell us on our social media platform. Share this with friends and family. More people you share, they give you more insight, and that's how you grow. Uh, if you have questions, we will answer them on social media or on our website in the forum. So we close it here. This is the trilogy of masterclass on science of food, which completes everything about weight gain program, weight gain, why your weight loss program is not successful, because the root cause and what goes behind as an inner process. You're going against that when you sign up for a weight loss program. First, work on the root cause, which we explain in 3 master classes, and we also have a program, but giving you enough to first experience before you jump into any program. Thank you so much. I hope it was useful to you. Pranam.